breaks down angelsnupnup7 easy. There's a reason why, after 100 channels destroyed, angelsnupnup7 is still here. There's a reason why nobody want to get in a beef with angelsnupnup7. But you don't take me seriously, and now your ass is barbecue.
Hey, man, you won me over, Snupnup. Man, you won me over. Man, you crazy as a bed bug, but you won me over. I think you're nutty. I think you nutty as a 13 acres of peanuts where George Carver used to own that back down the South. But you a smart guy.
Well, according to psychiatry, everybody's nutty.
Nah, I think you're crazy.
Yeah, so.
I'm just messing with you.
The Mississippi campaign represents everything that you claim that you want. The beginning of an all-black independent nation. The ability to control your own resources. Your politics. The law. Be able to do your own thing for a change. Create an economy. Create and produce goods that Africa or anybody on the planet would want. You're fake, you don't want to do nothing. 3 hours talking about the Mississippi campaign. So why don't y'all pitiful pieces of trash, sewer rats and you thieves and you siren stalking trolls, why don't y'all get together and have a conference and talk about what y'all have done? That conference won't last long, maybe 5 minutes, because Aquan has done nothing. Guy Nollywood have done nothing.
People all over the world.
Donate to Aquan. I got the answer. I can handle the hard question. See, they say that angelsnupnup7 don't care about the people. But angelsnupnup7 cares about the people because I'm bold enough to tell you the truth, and I don't give a damn if you give me a dime. I'm not looking for your money. My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody do.
We are in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Wrote a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it goes. Free your mind.
My black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us, so ain't nobody move with me. Like that king, we make it plain. Bringing knowledge and fire and reality too.
Peace, prayer, and knowledge. I'm so Sister J. I'm so Sister D. And I just wanted to say thank you for all the people who helped to the medical fundraiser for my uncle Taalik. And it has meant so much to us that you would help, because without you guys, his life would not be possible and we would not be with him today right now. And I just want to say, for all of you that helped and that donated, I would really like to give a big thanks. And I hope I can meet you one day and say thank you in person. I love you guys. And bye. Bye. Peace, prayer, and knowledge. Peace, prayer, and knowledge. Peace, prayer, and knowledge.
Everybody jump.
We are here.
Everybody who is black and interested in black people, let us sit down and find out how we can get together in one direction against one enemy and accomplish this job overnight.
When soul singer and black activist Sam Cooke wrote the lyrics to his song, "A Change Is Gonna Come," it was very direct and to the point. With some changes to it, the song was still digestible. In the year 2019, black folks continue to go through the change rather than direct the change. A community activist named Taalik Ibn'rad has made an appeal similar to what Sam Cooke was asking for. A change. It's said that the meek shall inherit the earth. We ask when. When will the landlords give the meek a free lease? Mr. Ibn'rad is humbly asking for the state of Mississippi. This is Dusty Basement Studios, and we approve of this message.
Oh, I need that. Guts to have that. It's
Black people, it's all about the unity. There's nothing they can do with us. So ain't
we are
nobody.
in a state of emergency. Prejudice. Want a song about it? Like to hear? Here it go. Free your mind.
Keep it real.
What dear?
Cause I keeps it real like that. I keeps it real.
Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started quickly. Let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started. Ride, let's get this party started quickly.
Free your mind.
In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what we call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program, known here on social media. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty angelsnupnup7. I am your soul brother, number one. I want to thank you. It is always an honor that you would join me for these few minutes, speaking on a topic that I find difficult because there is no right or wrong. There's no, the solution could be various. It is a difficult subject. And frankly, this is a topic that for me, that's why I am constantly searching for guest speakers to bring us a message in regards to this topic. Because for me, I really don't know the solution. I really don't know how to solve this problem. It is so many different types of solutions. It is difficult. I was talking to my sister Mello about this topic, and I told her that this is one I probably should just leave alone. I just don't have the expertise. But then when I began to think about it, our subject is healing from trauma. Why can't I talk on this subject when I've been traumatized for over 50 years since my birth? So as an individual, clearly, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a doctor. But apparently I'm doing something right where I am still in my right state of mind, having been traumatized for over 50 years since birth. So I want to bring a little bit of my experience, a little bit of my own personal solution, and then we just go from there. Again, shout out to Mello, Soul Brother 85, Dickens of Reality. Shout out to Razzie Fry, Sister Ann X, Angela Hines, Tafari Smith. Who else am I missing here? Almond Delight, Brother Taalik, and all those, Z-Mad, Phil Fox, all those who support this platform. Those who are watching and those who will be watching this broadcast later on. Now, we live in a society. We're going to have to accept the reality. We live in a society. This is a dog, or they call it a dog eat dog world, which is a damn shame because we are human beings. It's a damn shame because what we go through in our lives as human beings is actually more complicated and worse than dogs. So I think we do a disservice. I think we do a disservice to the dog by saying that this is a dog eat dog world. It's a disservice. I want to welcome to the platform our brother Taalik. Haven't seen him in a while, haven't heard from him for a while, but he's here today. So we're going to enjoy the wisdom that comes from our brother Taalik, and I want to welcome him to the broadcast. Can you hear us, brother Taalik?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to quickly say what I have to say, as always, and turn the microphone over to our brother Taalik. Matter of fact, before we get into our topic, I want to say congratulations to brother Taalik for passing, I believe, at least half of your tests before you get
three parts of it. Then the final one is next. The final last part is next.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's almost there, y'all. Almost climbed to the top of the mountain. I may not get there with you, brother Taalik, but you'll get to the mountaintop. So we want to welcome back on the platform our brother Taalik. So we live in a predator society. We live in a dog eat dog world. We live, unfortunately, as human beings, in a predator and prey condition. And it is sad among ourselves. It is heartbreaking, and this is what our conversation is about. We expect, or we have our guard up against those from the outside. We have our guard up. But what is most hurtful is when the trauma or the hurt come from those you trust, come from a close friend and family, somebody that you trust, and they blindside you. One of the most worst betrayals that can happen to us. And it is a trauma that is more difficult to recover from any other trauma, because at one time you said that you loved that person, you called that person a friend, and from out of nowhere, for no reason most times that we cannot explain, they betray us. This is something that is very difficult and you cannot hardly guard against. So it makes no sense for people to talk about, if that was me, I would have did this. If that was me, I would have did that. You have people who loved each other for 20, 30 years. And they said, I love each other for 20, 30 years. And they were married. But for some reason, on the 30th year, it all fall apart. There go our friend Armin. For some reason, it falls apart. And many of you probably know people like this, or you've seen it on TV. And you wonder in your mind, wow, how can two people who've been in love, who've been married for 20, 30 years, all of a sudden, they hate each other? I mean, get to going to court and calling each other's names, putting all their business out in the street. They don't care nothing about the emotional, the impact on the children. I hate your guts. How can you love somebody for 20, 30 years and then all of a sudden hate their guts? It's an amazing That's an amazing revelation and process. I don't understand that, but it happens all the time. Even to the point where they will murder each other. I love crime television, forensic television, and I love these kind of dramas. I like to see court cases, and you have friends who have known each other for 20, 30 years, and they are in court over a few dollars, and they throw all that friendship, all that love and trust away because somebody didn't pay me $150 or $200 or whatever it was. They throw all that away for money, because of money. Or you borrowed my car and wrecked it and you didn't fix. You just throw all that away. It is amazing. It's mind-boggling, but it happens. Maybe even when it comes to our blood relatives, our mothers and fathers, some of our mothers and fathers, like in the case of that little brother, Gary Coleman, that played on Different Strokes. His parents stole all that money from that young man, didn't look out for him. It was all about them spending his money. That's my son, that's my child. But when money came, big money came into the equation, it changed everything. So we cannot sit around here and act like we know. And you see in the Black conscious community all the time, I know an agent, I know a spy, I know an informant. No, you don't. The so-called informant you're talking about would probably be your best friend. And the one that's close to you would be your biggest enemy. This is what we have experienced. This is what we know. This is not a belief. This is what we know. So these things are going to happen to us because we are in an environment that creates insanity. We are living in an environment that creates mental defect. All these things mean nothing. We choose material things over love and friendship, over life. And some of us are selfish. We don't care about the feelings of another person. So this is something that we cannot avoid. I don't care how smart you think you are, intelligent. These things happen. What we have to do, what do you have to do in order to heal yourself and move on in your life without this type of trauma having an effect on you, causing you to look at others suspicious? Well, because of what so-and-so done, I gotta watch my back. Small talk, Sister Ann might stab me in the back. Brother Craig might stab me in the back, do something. It makes you suspicious, it makes you paranoid. And some of us out here in social media, some of us on YouTube, we have become paranoid. We've gotten to the point we don't trust nobody for nothing. We always watching our back. Everybody is a spy. Everybody is a informant. Everybody is COINTELPRO. Everybody. So whether we like it or not, you don't have to be a troublemaker. Trouble comes to us in this environment. Just like your car can be sitting on the street. You're not even in your car. And somebody can hit your car, damage, and take off. You wasn't looking for trouble. Trouble came to you. So this is something that we cannot avoid. This is something we're going to have to learn how to deal with. The problem is, how are we going to deal and approach these things? The first step is this. Do you want to heal from the hurt? Do you want to heal from the pain? There are many who thrive on their trauma, of which we experienced last year. All these YouTube channels blaming the black woman, blaming the black man. They find others, instead of healing from their trauma, healing from their hurt, they find others so that they can thrive on their hurt and their pain, which makes them more sick, which leads them to reach out to poison others. They have made trauma a way of life. And you can get paid. Kevin Samuels has 1 million subscribers because people thriving in their pain, because he offers no solutions. He tells the brothers, you need to be a high value man by going out and getting some money. Money is not our problem. Money, economics, is a little bit of the problem. What's the sense of having money when you're a nasty human being? You're vile, you're profane, you're greedy, you're grandiose, you're arrogant. You're just a nasty human being. I don't care how much money you are. What's high value? Money can't make you a good human being. So you have Cynthia G, and you have so many of these other persons. Tommy Sotomayor, all of them thrive on trauma, feeding poison, feeding the hurt. There's a sex thing. What is it called? Sadomasochism? I can't pronounce it. It's a sex, supposed to be a sex practice where the person wants to be beat with a whip and kicked and hurt. I thought sex was supposed to be pleasurable. Hey, Terry, I thought sex was supposed to be we grab each other and kiss each other and make us feel good. You have people who want to beat you up, and they part of the sex game. Beat you with a whip, kick you. That's supposed to be pleasurable. This is what we find in YouTube. Hurt is pleasure. How can you have pleasure suggesting to people, well, we need to kill all the black boy babies? How do you get pleasure? What kind of mentality is that? You suggesting murder, and that's pleasurable. But that's how these people come on YouTube and they find their audience. It's amazing how many people in the United States of America, it's amazing how many people in the so-called black community are hurting. This is what social media has exposed. So many of us are lonely. Many of us are suffering from trauma. It comes from outsiders. Yeah, there we go. There we go. See, it's wonderful to have help. Right. It's wonderful to have help. It's amazing how many of us, and these same people who are suffering from this trauma will laugh and make mockery of angelsnupnup7 because I spent time in a mental institution. Well, yeah, but I'm in a place that will help me with my trauma. See, when you go to a mental institution, their job is to help you with your trauma, to help you with your mental defect, to help you with your problem. Instead of going to a mental health specialist, because ain't nothing wrong with you, you run to Kevin Samuels, you run to Tommy Sotomayor, because ain't nothing wrong with you. But you run around here talking about kill black babies. You run around here, you hate black men, you hate black women, you just filled with hatred. But there's nothing wrong with you. And when you hear them talk, they're nasty and they're vile, they're disrespectful, hollering and screaming. You don't see angelsnupnup7 coming on here hollering and screaming and doing this, but I'm crazy. We are surrounded by so many sick persons. And that's the good thing about social media. It has revealed how hurt we are. And instead of looking for real help, we're going to those who will feed that trauma, feed that hurt and pain, instead of, because if you notice, Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor, Cynthia G, a lot of these YouTube persons, they talk about the problem, us as a people, or us as an individual, but they offer no healing. They offer no solutions. It's just complaint after complaint after complaint. So here we are. We went through a bunch of bull doo-doo because we are too intelligent to be what we was last year. You know this. We got too much going on. But unfortunately, in this world, we're forced to defend ourselves, and we are forced to deal with the predators. It's a dog-eat-dog world, they say. And you are surrounded by people who have no pride. They have no honor. They have no integrity in themselves. I said, we're going to go into this year and we're going to stay on the path of positivity. And we want to heal ourselves from the garbage from last year and stay as positive as we can to heal ourselves from that trauma, because it was traumatic. I'm not proud of what happened last year. I'm not proud of that. There was no honor in that type of behavior and activity. There's no glory. What is the prize? What do you get out of it? But we are living in a society of predator and prey. I know we was not the aggressor. And the Quran, those who are religious-fied, you know that the Quran said, don't never be the aggressor. But if somebody fight with you, fight with those who fight with you. And that's all we done. Well, we're not proud of it. There's no honor, no glory. if somebody hurts you, you have the right to talk about it, to tell your story. Now, of course, the one that you're snitching on or the one you're talking about is going to make them look bad. So, of course, they're going to have a problem with that. Sometimes things just happen. And sometimes you have people that was exploiting you and using you. And we did reach out to those in an effort of what they call diplomacy, so this thing would not continue and go where it went. We have right now the United States and Ukraine and Russia, and it seems as though diplomacy is not going to work. Diplomacy is not going to work in this case because Russia, the Russian president, made it very clear. He does not want the Ukraine to become part of the United Nations or NATO. He made it very clear. And since they do not want to compromise on that fact or promise, that's not going to happen. And nobody is going to compromise, nobody's going to back off. Then there could be only one conclusion, one result, and that is a war. And what we don't understand, and I noticed that many black channels, black conscious channels or whatever, they're not talking about Russia and the Ukraine. Small conflicts like this can turn into World War III. And this is what I was afraid of. This was something I was concerned with going back to the inception of the Mississippi campaign. And we talked about these things over and over again, that something in the world can change our reality, the way we live forever. And maybe it's a good thing, because if World War III means nuclear war, all this race crap goes out the window. You know why? It goes out the window because the only thing on people's mind is going to be, how do I survive? And you're going to be happy to see another living human being, regardless to their color, when everybody is blasted away, when all these lines and boundaries don't exist no more. You're just out here trying to survive. Damn, you alive? You're not going to be caring about, that's a white man that's alive. That's all thing you want to do, woo, another human being. You survived the nuclear fallout? What you got? Well, I got some tomatoes. Well, I got some kerosene oil. That's the only thing going to be on your mind. All these other things is you a man. You're going to be happy to see any man, any woman, any dog after nuclear war. So maybe that's a good thing. But if it did not cause the damage that you would think a nuclear war would, see, the Mississippi campaign already puts you in a position where you have your territory. All you have to do is defend it. All you have to do is build it up. That's the purpose of the Mississippi campaign, to put yourself in a position so you can have yours. But if you're not in that position, you're scattered, then you are at the mercy of those who have already done that. I think that war in that geographical area is probably inevitable. The Russian president is sending more troops to that area. And Biden is sending troops to that area. And what we think of as something small, oh, that's just Ukraine, they ain't but some white people, who cares? That can change your life, your reality. And some of y'all call angelsnupnup7, you an old guy. Some of y'all call Brother Taalik, he's old. Y'all old geezers. Y'all old geezers. When it gets to this point of war like that, and I'll tell you again, China made it very clear. We with the Russians. Boy, I don't know about you. All this ain't looking too good to me. It ain't looking good. I was hoping not to be around living at this point in time. All this ain't looking too good. When you're looking at nuclear war, when you're looking at the participants, you have the United States and NATO, and you have China and Russia. And you know all these people got all kinds of nuclear this and that. And you know when you're losing. Now, the war starts off conventional. Now, you know when you start losing, you got to bring out the power. Somebody is gonna press the red button, and things gonna get to flying. We don't think about, we got all this nonsense going on. We got all these things going on around the world, and the only thing we talk about is getting high, the dumbass Super Bowl, listening to rap music, and getting drunk. Who you gonna screw tomorrow? Well, you might as well get all that in. I think it's in the Bible, and those people was having a good time, whatever. And you might as well, because God had decided to destroy them, kill all of them the next day. So maybe that's a good thing that y'all watch the Super Bowl and get drunk, make your last babies, because you ain't gonna be around too much longer. I'm not trying to scare nobody. It's the reality that we're living in. It might happen. It might happen. It might not. But again, we know that small conflicts like this can turn into something really, really big. That president of Russia, Putin, that fella is no joke. He hasn't been a joke ever since he took over the presidency, whatever you call it, in Russia. He's looking to make big moves for his country. So we think that white folks' business or whatever, that's no concern of ours. We still talking the same crap. I'm a Marcus Garveyite. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm a Moor. Oh, well, y'all gonna be dead in the ground. Because your Marcus Garvey and your Kemetic stuff and your Black Muslim stuff, when nuclear radiation start falling, all of it don't mean a damn thing. You didn't prep for that, did you? And you didn't care. Let me go ahead and continue. I want to give this mic over to our brother Aleeyah. What we went through reminds me of what happened with Malcolm X. Malcolm X spent 12 years working tirelessly for the Nation of Islam. As soon as he came out of jail, Malcolm X did not care anything about getting married and having children. It was suggested to him, since he was the national representative, it would be a better look if he was a married man. So then he decided to entertain dating and talking to the sisters. Malcolm X wasn't interested in that. He was only interested in the liberation of the people, get us up out of oppression, and moving the teachings of Elijah Muhammad. 12 years. But then the Nation of Islam did wrong. Elijah Muhammad was having an affair with his young teenage secretaries. Some people said he was a pedophile. I really don't know how old these women were. I don't know, so I can't say. But we're gonna say teenage secretary. Malcolm get caught up in. It's nothing that Malcolm himself did. Malcolm didn't break any Nation of Islam law, the restrictive laws of Islam. It was Elijah Muhammad. But because I'm the messenger of God, he gets a pass. But even so, Malcolm's 12 years don't mean nothing. Just like we was talking about before, when it comes to people who have been married for 30 years in a divorce. All your love, your children, and the 30 years that y'all had as a man and a wife, husband and wife, all that thrown out the window. Don't care. You in court suing over a $50 phone bill with your friend. You've been friends for 15 years. Don't mean nothing. I want my $50. I want my $50. All that out the window. I can't imagine somebody helping me and being with me all those years, and I just throw all that out the window. I don't consider nothing. I don't care what happened. But we're dealing, and we're living in a society where people have no character. They have no integrity. They have no honor. It's all about me. All about all I want. It's what about what I want. I want to feel good. That's all they care about. You making the Honorable Elijah Muhammad look bad, Malcolm. It's all about them. Even to the point. Now, had no problem with Malcolm X when he was out there just a slave working to make Elijah Muhammad rich. Malcolm died broke. He didn't get none of that. He was the reason why Elijah Muhammad became wealthy. He was the reason why the Nation of Islam went all over the world, went international. Malcolm X was the reason why Louis Farrakhan, Muhammad Ali, and all these other people was attracted to the Nation of Islam. Malcolm X was, but all that went out the window. I don't care nothing about that. And they hate him so much, they was willing to kill his family, firebomb his house, and didn't give a damn about his wife and his children, so filled with hatred. We're so sick. So sick. People don't find nothing wrong if I was helping Louis Farrakhan for 9 years. I was willing, not willing, I did. I stood in front of Louis Farrakhan, willing to take a bullet for him, because I felt with my ignorance, I felt as though he was more valuable than me. So I'm going to give my life to save his life because he's more valuable than me. Which there's nothing wrong, brothers and sisters, to protect our leadership, protect good people. There's nothing wrong with that. I would do it again. I would happily do that again for somebody, a good leader. But then years later, if I write you a letter asking you for help, I'm willing to die for you, and I help you for 9 years, you can't even reply. You can't respond. You can't even say, no, Negro, I'm not even interested. See, this is what causes problems. And what we see here also is an example of what happens when we are denied justice and fairness. So no, I don't like the man. And I believe that I'm justified because I help you. Why you won't help me? I don't think that's right. You just ignore somebody that helped you. It was not right. It wasn't just for the Nation of Islam to do and treat after 12 years, just throw the 12 years out the door the way they did Malcolm X. So when people are traumatized and when people suffer hurt and pain, a lot of us, as a solution to our problem, to a solution or making some kind of attempt to heal from the pain and the hurt, we turn to drugs and alcohol. You know this. We see this. We turn to drugs and alcohol. Liquor is the #1 drug that people use. Another name for liquor, beer and alcohol, liquor, is spirit. That's another name. And that's the only spirituality that you know, is when you go to the liquor store and you buy your spirits in a bottle. Hennessy, Chardonnay, whatever you call it. I'm not familiar. I don't drink, so I can't tell you. I can't rap off all the different brand names of liquor that you don't even make. Y'all like to drink beer, and you like to drink wine. You don't make all that stuff, especially the fancy stuff. Alcoholism, excessive drug use, these are methods trying to escape life. We made a video about that not too long ago. It's a form of escapism because we live in a dog-eat-dog world. We live in a world of predator and prey. We know that we're being exploited. We know that we're being used. And we feel helpless. We feel hopeless. So we turn to the bottle. We turn to the liquor store. We turn to the weed man. We go to the pornography store. We go on the internet and search out porn, trying to find some way out, trying to find some kind of pleasure. Because we understand that we are the prey. And there's nothing we can do. What can I do about it, man? Some of us do. We seek to go out and we might go to the pastor. We might go to our mother or cousins or somebody. We might go to a mental health professional. Some of us may do that to try to seek healing. I can guarantee you all those people who listen to Tommy Sotomayor and Kevin Samuels and Cynthia G, I can guarantee you a good majority of them, they do drugs and alcohol. I can guarantee you. They watch a lot of pornography. I guarantee you this. I know it. I already know it. Because you're not allowing your brain to help you solve your problem. You're not thinking properly. You're not acting properly. Because your brain will direct you to the places that will cause your healing. But because your brain has been diluted with alcohol and drugs, excessive sex thoughts, and other raunchy mentality, instead of seeking something or an avenue where you can heal from your trauma to try to solve your problems in the natural way, you go and are directed towards that which poisons you even worse. The best therapist, the best doctor that we have is our brain. Sometimes we make bad decisions. We make mistakes and error. But this is what our brain is for. And a lot of times we make a lot of these mistakes and these errors is because we have allowed something to influence our brain, distort our brain, so our brain don't think properly. So we cannot come up with the best and appropriate solution to help us in our trauma. This is what our brain is for. But when you cloud your mind with religion and these other ideologies, you limit your brain because these other ideologies, religion, Black Power scholarship, Pan-African scholarship, all these different teachings and scholarship, they already gave you your answer. So your brain is like, what can I offer? These teachings and these beliefs already gave you your answers. But we look at society and we look at ourselves. If these things offered the answer and offered the solution, then why is the human family, why are we still in bad shape? Matter of fact, the foundation of a lot of our trauma comes from these beliefs, causes the hate, causes the division. So how can that which caused your trauma, cause the division, how can it heal you? It cannot. The reality of it, to me, brothers and sisters, like I said, there's no yes or no solution to healing. It's an individual process. It begins with, do you want to do better? If you don't want to do better, nothing's going to happen. So our first step in the healing is we want to heal. So we want to heal. That's why I said to us at the beginning of this year, we're going to be positive and we're going to stay on that path. Not going to allow some idiot to take us off the path to that healing. So after the purge comes the healing. But one reality is this. It makes no difference how much we want to heal. We are living in a predator environment and society. That's just the reality. But we could heal better if we was in a better environment. You do not put a drug addict with drug addicts and you expect that drug addict to heal, to rehab. It's not going to happen because those others who are doing drugs are going to inspire them to keep doing drugs. If you want to heal, if we want to become better, then we have to go where the better is at. We have to go to where there's better people. You're not going to heal listening to Kevin Samuel. You a hater. See, he's a hater. No, that's not a place of healing. I have yet to hear a video or see some action or activity to show that Kevin Samuels or Tommy Sotomayor, and these are just a few of these channels, it's countless. They're not offering you healing. They're offering you a way to vent your trauma and to complain, but they're not showing you or inspiring you or motivating you to seek healing of your trauma. How do I become better? How can my situation become better? You cannot become better until you get around better people, other people who want to heal. I understand you had a problem over here. I understand you had a problem over there. I don't want to be that no more. I don't want to suffer like that. So you go where there are better people. There's no better place than the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry, because we understand your hurt and we understand your pain, but also I understand and we understand that we have to go through an attempt to heal ourselves so that we don't continue to suffer under sickness. So many of us are sick, and they even talk about that sickness in religious teachings, how we have become, the human being has become spiritually sick. So the purpose of the Bible and the Quran is to heal the human being, because we have been made sick and we have been poisoned by somebody called a devil. You have to align yourself up with positivity in order for you to grow into positivity. How are we going to get or become positive? How are we going to become better around negativity? We cannot allow bad and past experiences to thrive in ourselves and make us sick, so that we will miss the friendship and the love of other people who may benefit us. Because you have a problem with angelsnupnup7 and you have that hatred in your heart, then you're going to reject other people who could help you because you're sick because of angelsnupnup7. You need to cure yourself from the trauma that you got from angelsnupnup7, or you will be denied your reward from somebody else who has good intentions for you. And I'm going to say this in my conclusion and turn the mic over to our soul brother Taalik. See, there were people trying to make me sick like them. And they kept saying it over and over. See, that goes to show angelsnupnup7 don't like black women. Well, first of all, since angelsnupnup7 been on YouTube, according to YouTube statistics, women have been my primary listeners, my primary supporters, according to YouTube. And back in the day, I had a lot of interracial ladies that was involved with white men, and they listened to angelsnupnup7. I'm going to upload a video where I was talking about this one young lady. She called herself Blake Barbie Doll, and her husband was a white man, but she loved to be and listen to angelsnupnup7. My primary audience was women, and back in the day, you had the Black Authority, and there was this guy called the Mayor of Blacktown, and there was some other women bashing channels. I was known to be Captain Save-A-Ho. And they go run around trying to Captain Save-A-Ho. They call me Captain Save-A-Ho. And see, this is the thing about it. If you a man, you're supposed to save a hoe, because she shouldn't have been a hoe to begin with. The reason why she's a hoe, because some man made her a hoe. And if you're a good man, you're supposed to save a hoe. You're supposed to get her off the street. You're supposed to encourage her and lift her up. If you're a man, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to save a hoe. And as men and women, we're supposed to save our children. Whether you have children or not, as an adult, it should be our responsibility as an adult to help our children, our babies, whether we biologically have children or not. And that's what I have done. So they wanted to try to get me caught up in that gender war garbage because the people that I had a problem with was women. No, but these was women, but these was individuals. We had a problem with individuals that just so happened to be women. But I'm not so hurt. I'm not so traumatized. I'm not so stupid to say, see, this is how black women do. Black women do. That's dumb. These were these individuals. And we say, well, the black man do this. And we say the black woman do that. In order for you to say that, you have to personally know a whole lot of soul brothers and sisters, which you don't. You have a problem with a handful of certain individuals, and then you say, that's how all black women are. That's how all black men. That's a damn lie. I love the sisters. You're not going to make me hate the sisters, because I understand hating the black woman is hating myself. We are together. We stand together and we will fall together. I stand with her, and there's nothing nobody gonna do. There's no individual that's gonna make me hate my sister. To hate my sister is for me to hate my mama, and I'm never gonna hate my mama. Y'all got me messed up. On that note, I'm gonna flip the mic over to our brother Taalik. He's waiting in the cut there. Want to hear our brother? Haven't seen him in a little while, and we can see what our brother Taalik wants to bring to our conversation. So, brother Taalik is in the house. Thank you, brother, for joining us. Do you want to add to the conversation?
First off, I want to say thanks and appreciation to you, brother, soul brother, and everyone else for your congratulations of my recent accomplishment, and also which I'll be looking toward to my overall future accomplishment of what I'm doing right now. But however, I want to also say thanks for allowing me on the panel today.
You're welcome.
And I also would like to just chime in with saying that, you know, all the time I was in my sabbatical, I was, you know, off and on the internet, you know, and on social media, you know, of course, paying attention to what was going on. I just wasn't saying much, of course, but and here and then I would go in off and on different panel videos and stuff like that, you know. But other than that, I was still in my sabbatical, and but I was still, like I said, observing things going on, like you say, around the country as well as around the world, and you know, enough said with the international level of the situation, which you covered very much, so it don't need to be much explained on that end. But the fact that also here in this country, you know, people ain't talking about the fact that right after these three Caucasians got convicted and got life sentences for killing this brother Ahmaud down in Brunswick, Georgia, you know, and who's facing federal charges for violating his civil rights, you know, and all that stuff. People ain't even paying attention to that case, because that case can, you know, abstract from the justice or they conviction that they already have, you know, where it could get them leeway to be able to appeal their conviction by the state and all that. But neither here nor lesser say, people ain't paying attention or speaking on Black YouTube, social media, obviously, about the fact that a Black man just recently, last month, at the end of last month, was just, you know, fired upon by gunshots, which missed him, fortunately, you know. Someone fired upon him, you know, while he was driving I think he was driving. He was a FedEx employee, right? And this was down in a little small town in Mississippi, matter of fact. And he was driving, and it was an unmarked FedEx truck, and they shot at it, you know, but they arrested the two guys and charged them, you know, with felony crimes, you know. But what the ironic part is that the charges wasn't upgraded to attempted murder, which it was, as what the situation was described as. And see, you know, we're not paying attention to how much less these people value, unquote, Black lives here in America. You know, you're not, while you sitting up on YouTube talking about your different religious persuasions, your different other ideology persuasions, you know what I'm saying? Even whether it be Black nationalism, Garveyism, Pan-Africanism, religious, Comedicism, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Moorishism, you know, at the end of the day, we are in trouble as a people. You know, you still got children getting talked down to in a racial discriminated manner, like a young man in Michigan recently did, you know, and they had to fire the teacher that made the racist comments, you know. So, I mean, and also, you know, the fact that, you know, Black doctors trying to speak out against racism, still getting their lives threatened, you know what I'm saying, where they need emotional support as well as other support, you know, behind that. And I mean, it's like it's all caving in at one time on us. And we still comfortable in this situation. That's just the most ironic part. How can you be so comfortable in a hostile environmental situation where you see everything is just aimed at you, like people just shooting darts straight at a target, you know? And it's like, you know, you're not even understanding or realizing this. And while this is going on, you still out here killing each other. You still out here, you know, getting high on drugs, getting drunk on alcohol, you know, you know, and all this other stuff, partying, waving your hand like you just don't care, like it's your last day on earth. You know what? I mean, if you feel that way, you might as well act like it's your last day on earth, because that's what it's coming to. I mean, you know, that's what it's actually coming to. And I mean, honestly, you know, I look at these guys, you know, on these different channels and stuff and I mean, hey, you know, some of them may mean well, but they still don't have a concrete solution to our problem. Like you was just mentioning, you know, they don't have the concrete to our problem. Okay, this is the solution we got set up, at least a basic solution to start off with. You don't even have that, but you steady talking this ideology and religious stuff in it, and arguing and going back and forth, threatening each other over debates and all this whole kind of crap. You know what I'm saying? Calling each other out, threatening to kill each other, actually to do bodily harm to each other over silly debates and all this kind of stuff, you know. And this is just not, I mean, you know, okay, you know, you don't agree with people that's whirling, people don't agree with Pan-Africanism, people don't agree with different people's ideologies, okay, that's okay. But all this threatening each other, talking about you gonna pull up on each other, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they come to your city and all this other stuff. I mean, man, come on. And you know, we as dark-skinned soul people in this country are just about the only ones on social media that is being actually viewed why this is going on. And even if it is other ethnicities doing the same crap to each other, they not doing it on a wild scale basis like we are. You know what I'm saying? And then another thing is you're not paying, you know, you don't have black social media talking about these far right-wing white racist supremacist groups that's rising all throughout the country, especially the ones that's caught up in that Trump support thing, you know. You're not, you know, and then you know, they not talking still enough about them race soldiers out there. They're still killing our people after all them protests over George Floyd and them a couple of years ago, you know. You know, and then you're not talking about these black politicians, whether they're in Washington on the federal level or on the state or city municipality level, standing by, turning around, looking the other way with a blindsided eye. You know what I'm saying? You know, why they just collecting the check or collecting hush money under the table? You know what I'm saying? Why people being massacred out in the streets? You're not talking about none of that. You know, and it's like I'm like this. You know, this is you know, this is part of the reason why I can't blame black people when they want to just simply give up and say to hell with it, you know? Because you got the masses doing that, and then you got people, like I said, in the conscious black community doing this crap, and they know halfway of what's going on, but they still don't care because they just trying to make money off a platform. You see what I'm saying? Just like with these traditional black organizations, like the Nation of Islam, the Moorish Science Temple of America. It's just about the money. It's not about no real true liberation or separating our people from the racist oppressor in this nation. It's about money. And this is why we keep failing constantly every day on our sojourn in this country as a people. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, and you know, you're not even thinking about our black brothers and sisters from back in the 60s and 70s, you know, like Assata Shakur and them that's still languishing, you know, in them prisons or that's on the run, you know, from or as fugitives, you know, like Assata Shakur, who I just mentioned, you know. You're not even thinking about creating a situation where they could come back to and live the rest of their days out. You see what I'm saying? Because you want to, you know, shine on somebody over social media because you got the best or claim to have the best you know, voice of authority to put somebody in check constantly or to threaten somebody, especially over some damn disagreement that could mean either here or less, since we ain't in no position of power. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So basically all that's saying is that we are comfortable in our situation. You know, you're not even talking about on the YouTube streets, the growing percent, the largest growing percent ever in the history of soul Black America, where our young people are committing suicide at a very high rate. Something our generation didn't see from the post-civil rights era or before us or before them. You see what I'm saying? Young people, even that's thriving successfully, that are committing suicides. You didn't hear about these Black actors or entertainers recently that committed suicide?
Yeah.
Even Regina King's son recently committed suicide. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about this is happening at a very high rate, at a very high rate ever in our history in this country as a people. And no one wants to talk about that. I mean, people are just quiet on that. Even our so-called leadership is turning a blind eye to that. You're not even hearing them talk about that. Unless, you know, it's time for them, you know, like the Benjamin Crumps or like the L. Sharpens to get on the front screen and talk about somebody who then got shot by the police and that you gonna take they, you know, assailants to court and sue them for some damn money. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only time you see them show up, you know, is when it's a money thing involved. If a money bag thing ain't involved, you ain't gonna hear them speaking on this. See, and our people constantly is not paying attention to this. And then you wonder why we still in the shape that we are in. You know, you don't have to be, see one thing about it, you don't have to be a sole Black person simply, you know, to be poor or considered as a financial poor underclass person to be feeling like you want to commit suicide, doing something stupid to go to jail, doing something to get killed in the streets. Like these rappers that's getting knocked off, like look at Young Dolph. You know what I'm saying? That's getting killed over more than likely nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I mean, you know, you're not talking about them type of things, and this is why we're at the point that we're at. You know, and you know, I mean, to really be honest with you, there has been times, you know, off and on that I want to just say the hell with it and throw my hands up. But, you know I've been in this for a long time, so why step out now? You know, I might as well just stay in the struggle until it's time for me to close my eyes for the last time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather die for something, you know, for a worthy cause in terms of our situation as a people in this country than to die for nothing and just be another dead Negro slave who didn't contribute nothing to us at least trying to come up out this situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's just crazy. You know, we don't have no power position in this country, no type of power position, you know, and this is why we are at the mercy of people that don't like us and that hate us, and even including the immigrants who hate us. You know what I'm saying? You know, you get on there, you want to talk about what the Haitians went through at the border crossing, the hell with them. They got their own nation. They got their own independence when they kick the French ass. So let them deal with their own problem. That's what I say about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and that go for the Jamaicans, the people in the Bahamas, the Barbados, who recently got independence from the Queen or whatever they call that shit, you know, from under the Queen of England, where they just officially declared their independence. You know what I'm saying? We don't have no independence as so-called Black Americans in this country like that. You know what I'm saying? And they sure ain't trying to help us get that independence. You know? So, I mean, you know, and plus when they come over here, they show no regard for our struggle, which is the reason why they was able to get into this country in the first place. So, you know, my thing is that we need to understand, just like John Henry Clark once said, that we have no friends. We have no friends, whether it be in the Caribbean or Africa. We have no friends. We are on our own. It's just that simple, you know, and it's a sad state of affairs. It really is a sad state of affairs when you look at that situation for what it is. And I just don't have time for the shenanigans, you know. I mean, I see people being very disrespectful on Black YouTube, you know, even if they trying to have some type of civil discussion, people cutting each other off, disrespecting each other, threatening each other, and all this type of crazy stuff. You know, I mean, you know, we like wild beasts. You know, in a wildlife atmosphere that gives people so-called justification to feel like, well, shit, they need to just all be slaughtered off anyway. Look at how they act toward each other, you know? And that's just the reality of it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, hey, I mean, if you really want freedom and justice, you know, you got to put your egos to the side, put your differences to the side, and take a big look at the world outside of your little bubble and see what's going on. Because it ain't looking pretty. And it's definitely, we definitely going, whatever happens, and it come cramming down, we gonna be the first ones to feel the effect as so Black people in this country. We gonna be the first ones to feel the effect, like with any other economic or pandemic implications that this country has ever went through. You see what I'm saying? And so, I mean, you know, and I'm gonna say this here, as far as the religious construct goes, with these teachings, you know, and these different ideology beliefs, you know, that don't really serve us no purpose in reality. You know, you could believe in that all you want to, but on the overbroad scale side of things, if you have something that could be of an actual tangible benefit to us getting to true liberation, then we welcome you to bring that to the table. But your ideologies and belief systems, we care nothing about at this point. It don't matter. Because we are an endangered species, as they always say in the pro-Black conscious community. We are an endangered species here in America. I mean, anytime a race soldier could walk up to you, arrest you on some false trumped up charges, unjustly, or some white, you know, woman named Peggy or Rachel, you know what I'm saying? Could call the police on you because she see the nigga word. I mean, that's not good. That's not good at all. And this is why we need to come together and get a state behind us so that we could control the state and set up and create an environment away from that. And why people talking about those brothers and sisters down there in Georgia that acquired that little piece of land to set up some type of kind of safe haven from racism and this and that. You know, even though that's on a small, tiddly big scale, but I'm still not gonna knock them brothers and sisters. Because while you lambasting them, ain't none of you niggas doing nothing but sitting on YouTube, on social media somewhere, running your mouth every day, talking about nothing, you know? At least they trying to make some type of kind of difference out the best way they can, you know? That's all I could say for that, you know? But I mean, you know, it's just crazy, you know? And because, you know, our wealth, our status, as far as our financial status, our like I say, you know, other status we have, whether it's being an entertainer or athlete or whatever, don't protect us. Just like that Black female doctor said, her medical employee status don't protect her from racism. You see what I'm saying? You still a nigga word. And that's where we at in this country. No, it don't matter how many millions or billions we got. That status don't protect us. How poor or rich we are, or even if we middle class, which I doubt that exists, and still in this country, but that's a whole nother thing in itself. But either way it go, you know, no matter what type of status we're under as a people, or what status class we relegate ourselves to as a people, you still a nigga word. Look at how they even treating the black, so-called black police officers. They gunning them down, murdering them, especially the ones who are considered as whistleblowers. They putting them in the ground quick. And even the ones that's halfway waking up, you know what I'm saying? They putting them in the ground, figuring out how to get rid of them. You see what I'm saying? Because they've been a part of that system long enough to know too much. So we got to put these niggas in their place. You see what I'm saying? You know, in the black police officers that don't have no regard for their own kind. Why they out there helping them race soldiers to, you know, to dismantle our people in them streets, you know, they still a nigga word. When they done and it's over with, even if they do got the badge on, they still a nigga, whether with the badge on or without the badge on. I've seen many numerous cases about that. And when I do see that, I just flip over. I just scroll past the story because I already know. Look, this is America. This is what you in for if you a sole black person. This is what you in for. Just your pigmentation alone is a crime. From the inception of this nation, your pigmentation is a crime. So when you get to judging and talking about brothers and sisters with felonies or who done did time in jails and prisons, remember, you know better than them. You know different from them because your skin color is a crime. And that means that could even cause you to get a felony, okay? Whether you do something to get one or not, okay? So just remember that. You still a nigga word. And it's happening every day throughout America. You know, whether you like it or not, that's just the reality of it, you know, and I just, I mean, it just really amazes me, you know, how you even get people on social media talking about other black people's records and stuff. Like you don't got one, or like somebody in your family don't got a record. You know, most of families out of 40+ million of us here in America, somebody got a record or been to prison. Even if you haven't yourself, somebody in your family have, or been on drugs, or been caught up in prostitution. You know what I'm saying? And all other type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? That's not natural for our stability as a people here in this country. You see, so like I said before, you know, we need to just snap up out that silly bag we in, you know, because we gonna keep getting silly, stupid surprises. I mean, every day you wake up in America, just as a sole black person, you bound to walk out your door, not to come back in one piece. Just because of your skin color, you know? And see, this is why you talking all that crap on YouTube, debating with each other and this and that, and all this other kind of stuff, and having, you know, I mean, different other stuff that you be talking about that don't really mean nothing. I mean, some of the stuff you talk about is cool, you know, when it comes to, as you call, nation building and all that kind of stuff. But where is the solution at to put it in place? I don't see nobody with no solution to put it in place. Yeah, we got an ideal here, Operation Exodus, Mississippi, but because of people that's been faking and shaking on this platform who we had to purge, we still let it stand still or putting our ideal in motion. But that's going to come to an end, hopefully soon. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't got time to be playing no games. We are in a situation where, just going back to what the brother said earlier, that some little political situation on the international political scale could could just change the way we live every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just the reality of it. If you think back to World War II, think if Hitler and Germany had conquered their goal and taken over the whole world, we all be speaking German. And a lot of us that's dark skin pigmentation may not be around. Because you know what that was all about. They wanted a white superior race.
Exactly.
So anyway, that's just the reality of the whole situation. I mean, you know, we got to stop this. You know, we got to stop this crap. Got to start getting serious. If we say we serious about our liberation, we got to get up out these opinionated egos and stop getting mad at people because you don't like something they said, because you don't agree with something they said. But even though they bring in a tangible ideal that may work on our behalf as a people, you gonna still say F them just because you don't like something they said, or that you don't agree with what they said or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Or you don't like something about them. You know, see, Black people got a habit of not looking at certain other people's struggle when it comes to strategic warfare, when you're fighting for liberation. Look at the colonists, the early colonists of this country. You think they all liked each other? You think they want to be in each other's company all the time? A lot of them hated each other. Trust me. But they knew they had one common purpose, and that was to defeat the British. And that's what they set out to do, and they accomplished that feat. We could take a lesson from that.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, and one thing about it is this, is that you know, I say that we need to understand and realize, just like pointing back to what you said earlier, brother, that what's happening over there in Russia and Ukraine. You know, yes, we do have a lot of our people that have the tendency to say, well, that's white folks stuff. We can't worry about that.
Right.
Just like people say that attack on the U.S. Capitol last year, January 6th, was a white folk thing. First of all, that still could affect us. That could have had a serious impact of effect. And matter of fact, it do. Because that changed the climate. That further increased the hate climate in this country that's geared toward dark-skinned people in this country. All because white folks see that the days of them having their way is slipping away politically, economically. That's why they did what they did at the Capitol. Whether people agree with that or not, that's why they did what they did. And because they was following an idiot like Trump, is why they did what they did. So yes, that affects everybody in this country, including your black ass, my black ass. You know what I'm saying? That affects everybody in this country. Yes, we didn't have to be a part of that initially, but it still affected us in a trickling way. It definitely affected us, and it's still do to this day. And this is why far right white wing supremacist movement is growing constantly every day in this country and gaining many members. So you really better be worrying about protecting yourself out on them streets, because you don't know if one of them peck of woods might run up on you and try to, you know, double team you, you know, or try to get you somewhere, especially in one of them little small rural towns to hang your butt off a tree or somewhere, like they tried to do to that brother in that small town in Indiana a couple of years ago, right around the time of that George Floyd killing in Minneapolis. See, we quick to forget about stuff like that. That was just recently ago. Another brother allegedly got lynched off a street light pole in California, of all places on the West Coast in California. You know what I'm saying? Not in Mississippi, not in Alabama, but in California. You know? So, I mean, no matter where we're at in this country, we are faced with a very serious situation as a people. While we running around here flagging colors at each other, you know, flashing colors at each other, flashing gang signs at each other, you better be watching these white right-wing supremacists out here that be walking around with red and blue bandanas, you know, camouflaging themselves as black people, going up in neighborhoods, shooting down black people and riding in the sunset. Because since they know that's how we get down with each other, then that's how they infiltrate and be able to come into our communities and kill us and ride off into the sunset. We need to be paying attention to that type of stuff. While we around here running our mouth on social media, talking about nothing to each other. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, you know, and so, I mean, and those of you, you know, I have to say this. I really have to say this too, in closing, that those from the civil rights generation that's still around, you know, that still believe in that unquote post-civil rights era or post-so-called racist era in America, you might as well just sit your behind down and just live out the rest of your days and don't say nothing. Because you ain't making it no better for us, any of the rest of us. And with that said, I just wanted to just, you know, touch on that a little bit. And I'm glad, again, to be back on the panel and with everybody. And with Soul Brother 85, Mellow Cap, and those of you that are in the live chat. And I'll definitely be back speaking with you again. And I'm gonna yield my mic back to our #1 soul brother, angelsnupnup7.
All righty then. All righty. Y'all got it from what they say from the horse's mouth, Brother Taalik. And I hope that you enjoyed what you heard. I hope that this topic, I hope that we brought something that we could use in regards to this topic. After the purge comes the healing. I do want to say, before we close, piggyback off of a few things that Talib said in regards to Africa. There are those who may call us or me a African hater. We hate Africans and blah, blah, blah. That's not true, and there's no evidence to support such a thing. However, you cannot help Africa until you help yourself. How can I help Brother Talib with his electric bill when I can't even pay my own? That don't even make any sense. You have to help yourself first. No matter how you feel about Africa, you're no good to Africa and you can't even help yourself. There's a word, I think it's called akata or something like that. Some of these African people it means wild beast. I heard a brother talk about it on his live stream earlier this morning. And Akata, some of those African people call the American, once called Negro, Akata, which means wild beast. And there are other degrading type of names that they have, some of these people. And see, they don't like to talk about that side of Africa. There are a lot of people on that continent that don't give a damn, and they will tell you in your face. They will take your money. They do not like you. I saw a video where they charge, when they know that you are an African American, they charge you double and triple times for products over there. And they would call you a kata in your face. I saw the sister say they was calling her a kata. And she said, no, I'm African. They said, no, you're a kata. You're a kata. You're not them. And above all, I understand how you feel because you have no identity. You want to belong somewhere. You want to belong to something. And you call Africa mother. The first point is you actually have people who were born on that continent willing to die to come over here. You have people on that mother Africa willing to die to go to Europe and here and elsewhere. They trying to get away from mother. And they don't ever talk about, bring that up either. They don't ever talk about that. They make up this fantasy story like Africa is this beautiful la-di-da place. And send a shout out to Brother Craig. Brother Craig posts videos showing us the reality of Africa. Shout out to Brother Craig, Brother Supremacy channel. Subscribe to that channel, Brother Supremacy. There's always a good and bad side to everything. I understand you want that connection to Africa because you believe that you're African and all that, but it's not the place that you think that it is. Even if there was no Europeans there, it's still not what you think it is. It's not that. If you call Africa mother, then what do you expect from mother? You can feed off the breast of your mother. Now here you are, you trying to feed mama instead of mama feeding you. You run around here, well, we got to do this for Africa. And there's another thing that's very hypocritical from these Pan-African, blackity-black type people in love with Africa. They really don't talk about how they feel about the people. They keep talking about the resources. You know, Africa got gold, Africa got oil, Africa got silver. That's the only thing they worry about. Getting Africa's resources, which means you ain't no better than the Europeans and the Chinese and anybody else who's there to rape Africa. You just a rapist too, except you related to the person, which makes it even look worse because you want to rape your own relative. You don't care nothing about those people. You only want what they have. And if Africa is your mother, because when my mother passed, or if your mother and your parents passed, whatever they leave behind, you inherit it. Your mother Africa ain't giving you nothing. I can't get with that. Your mother Africa has enough land, using the Congo as an example. The Congo, they have enough land there. They could actually give us a whole country worth of land. They ain't offering you and giving you nothing. If you don't love me, you don't show me that you care about me, whatever, I don't give a damn if you mama or daddy, whoever. Y'all can kick rocks. I don't beg for people's love. These folks, you run around here, you begging to be part of something. The only thing you did was go from begging Caucasian people for love and acceptance. Now you begging African people for love and acceptance. And I'm not going to get with that. And you can call me anything you want to in the book. You can take your begging ass over there and you can kiss their ass and lick their feet, hoping they accept you. And a lot of them don't accept you. That's the reality of it. I'm not going to do it. You need to be concentrating on yourself. Help yourself. You can't help nobody till you help yourself. I'm no good to nobody. I can't pay my bills. How the hell am I going to pay somebody else's bill? But we live in a society and an environment. People live in fantasy and fiction and fairy tales, la la land. And they use Pan-African ideology and religion and black scholarship. It's all escapism. It's all like a religion. Escapism from the reality of things. A few people can go to Africa and you might do all right. But when you're talking about in your mind, you're talking about 40 million of us in the condition that we're in right now, trying to go to some Africa, it ain't gonna work. They will kill us outright. And there's another thing. If we took off and took our little money and went to Africa right now, they could take our money. What you gonna do about it? These Pan-Africans, you pack up, take your little money, and go to Africa. They could close your bank account and take your money. What you gonna do? What can you do about it? Who's gonna protect you? Huh? You have a fantasy way of looking at things. So on that note, I just want us to bring us something to think about. There's no right or wrong. And when it comes to healing ourselves, doing what's best for us, you have to give your brain an opportunity. Sit back in the dark, sit back in the cut, and just think about your life. Think about what the problem is. Think about what's going on. And I can guarantee you, if you give your brain a chance, it would give you the right solution, the right and appropriate solution to help us heal ourselves. Brother Taalik was talking about suicide. The reason why so many of us commit suicide is because their brain cannot find a way, a solution, cannot find a way out. So they give up. And their situation is so bad that drugs, alcohol, nothing, they can't find a solution. And so just let me get out of here. And many of us have had suicidal thoughts. It's not no shock to none of us. I've had suicidal thoughts. Some of us out here, we've had suicidal thoughts. God don't like suicide. I don't give a damn what God don't like. If God don't like suicide, why his ass sit back and don't do nothing and allow this environment to continue to flourish? Punk ass God. Because this environment, this situation that we're in is why we're behaving and responding the way that we do. If this God would get off his ass and do something about it, then we wouldn't have be going through all this, right? But this God sit back in the cut and it goes on and on. Oh, God gonna come in 2,000 years, 3,000 years. We've been waiting on God and spirits and spooks and ancestors to do stuff for hundreds of years. Haven't got done yet. If we as human beings don't change our condition, it won't get changed. This is something within our power because all this stuff that we're going through is man-made. It's not natural. So if men created the situation, men can solve the problem. This is not a tornado. This is not an earthquake. This is not unusual radiation from the sun. This is a man-made problem. But the problem is we fear the ones who created the problem. So Dr. King said the reason why evil exists is because good people do nothing. And that's the main problem. It's a lot of good-hearted, sincere people all over the earth. But we do nothing. And a lot of times we don't do nothing is because we waiting on God. We waiting on the ancestors. This is the killer thing to me. Now they saying the ancestors is going to save us. But the ancestors didn't have the power to save themselves. And the ancestors that was their ancestors didn't do nothing for them. And then, okay, if our ancestors going to do something to our enemies from the spiritual world, so I assume that the ancestors of our enemies in the spiritual world, they just gonna sit back and say, yeah, y'all go ahead and do that because we was wrong for what we did. I don't see that happening. Because if your ancestors in the spiritual realm care about you in the physical realm, why wouldn't their ancestors, your oppressors' enemies, their ancestors in the spiritual realm, why wouldn't they care about what happened to their people? The whole thing don't make any sense. We have to come up out of this mindset. We have to look things from a more realistic point of view in order to solve this problem. Otherwise, nothing is going to change. Otherwise, there's never going to be the healing. Now, when we talk about healing, life itself is a problem. What we experience is excessive. But life is not a bowl of cherries, as they say. You're going to have your ups and your downs. You're going to cry. You're going to be happy. That's just life. We are experiencing something that is excessive. Man-made trauma. And it's going to take men to change that. Not only black men, but the human being, period. The human being, period, is the one that can change this. Otherwise, it really means nothing. And really, we are amazed about the accomplishments of human beings on this planet. But can you imagine the accomplishments of human beings if our minds didn't have to deal with trauma? Some of these people that have committed suicide, who know what kind of potential they had? But they felt they was forced to leave this life prematurely. So we have a lot to work on. We have a lot to do. But again, maybe the real best solution is human extinction, because we're too intelligent to continue to live the way that we do. And it's really embarrassing that the most intelligent, so-called most intelligent life form on this planet is so stupid, will cause your own self-extinction. Well, black people, self-extinction, all of you gonna die. All of you gonna go extinct. Whatever effect one human being affects us all. All of us breathe the same air. All of us use the same sun and water and dirt. Ain't no white man, ain't no black man, none of you, ain't nobody no special than nobody. Whatever effect one human being, COVID is an example. COVID don't give a damn about your race. COVID done killed all races. COVID don't give a damn if you're old or young. None of that stuff. You live in some kind of fantasy world. COVID is a prime example. Why isn't your melanin or whatever, you so special, whatever? Why is it not stopping this disease. And for me, COVID really is mild. You're going to mess around and see a disease where some of us think that these diseases is a joke. You're going to see what a disease can really do. Kill people so much, you can't even bury them. Like the bubonic plague. Killing so many people, they couldn't even bury them. Folks just decomposing in the streets. Even the vultures couldn't eat the bodies up. Hey, Fred, is you full? Yeah, man. Taalik, that was a meal. It's too many. We don't take nothing seriously. We live in some kind of la-la Disneyland. We don't. That's because we've been around fantasy and fiction for so long. We don't know what's real and what's fake. But on that note, I hope that we got something out of our talk today. I did the best I could. And one thing that we know on this platform, we're not going to be doing all that beefing and whatever, going back and forth and all that fussing and fighting. We're dedicated to the healing. We're dedicated to positivity. If we can't do that, we don't need to say nothing at all. So on that note, for myself and for Brother Taalik, brothers and sisters in the chat room, thank you for joining us. To Farrell Smith and Mellow Cap and Deacons of Reality and those in the chat room, Sister Ed, those in the chat room, those who are listening, those who will be listening to this broadcast at a later date, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I don't know when the next broadcast will be, but I do have a live stream in mind. Oh, how can I forget? Shout out to Brother Tahaka Bay and the Moorish World TV Citizen. Got to say, I've been really enjoying myself on that platform. Shout out to Tahaka Bay and his family and the Moorish World TV Citizen. Thank you so much for having us. We've been having a real good time. I'm shocked that been lasting so long. We've been having a pretty good time. Are you subscribed to Moorish World TV, Brother Taalik?
No.
Yeah, subscribe to him. Matter of fact, you can join me on one of these broadcasts over there.
All right, just let me know.
But we want you to concentrate so that you can knock this out, though. We don't want you to be all involved in social media.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Because you're almost there
now.
You're almost there. Got to keep your eyes on the prize. You're almost
right.
there. Mellow Cap said purple fez coming. Brother Tahaka think that he's going to change me into a Moor. Out of friendship and things like, I don't mind wearing a fez or whatever, but that's not me. I can't go back to religious ideology. I can't go back to that type of thing. If anything,
peace out, everybody.
Yeah. If anything,
peace out, everybody.
All right, Brother Taalik. And so we out of here, y'all. Catch you on the flip. Just like our brother Don Cornelius used to say, as important, I wish us love, peace, and so we already 5,000. We are already 5,000. Where's my little thing there?